Good morning. I'm getting a little bit of a late start today. I've been up for an hour and a half, but I had coffee and I've been piddling around and talking, and I just didn't want to leave this place. And so last night after I closed this out, Tripod and Sprinkles and Rumi showed up, and we were all camped right there together, and we stayed up talking till probably 8:30 or more. And then we've all just been sitting there talking this morning. They're all just going to the North Rim today, so they only have like less than a 7-mile day, and I have more than that, so I need to get going, but they're still there. But this has been an amazing time in the Grand Canyon so far. Here's the stock campground. All right, I just stopped talking to walk through that stock campground because there were some people there. Well, it was a wonderful night because it wasn't cold at all. Very mild. Barely, just kind of had to drape my quilt over me and didn't have to sleep with my water filter. I slept with all 4 vestibule doors open, so when I woke up, I could see the canyon walls on both sides of me. So yeah, we have 6.5 of climbing. We're about to start serious climbing. We have over 4,000 feet to do. And then that'll be at the North Rim. And then I think I have like 12 more miles to get out of the park. So I have to do at least 18 something before I can start. Like that's the earliest I could camp. But we'll probably, once we get out of the park, I'm probably just going to be in the mode of let's do as many as we can and wrap this sucker up. Because this has been, I don't know, this is just such a good capstone to the Arizona Trail. Pointing the camera directly at the sky. Just stopped at Manzanita to fill up my water to get to the North Rim, and up and away. This is the trail we just came on. And we go up there. Okay, you can see way down there a trail and a bridge, and we're working our way up here. I haven't been filming a whole lot this morning. I've been walking with Catherine, and he hasn't officially accepted yet, but I think old school. And we've just been talking. Then my phone had some moisture in my pouch here, and it locked it for like 15 minutes, so I couldn't film. But my goodness, the hike out of the canyon is every bit as beautiful as the hike in. I'm just breathing harder. We've got probably 2 miles, a little over 2 miles left. And we've been climbing. We've already gained over 2,000 feet. Maybe more, I haven't really looked. But I think we have about 2,000 to go.
The lookout point. Yeah, hey, we made it.
The lookout point. Now it's not much higher.
Wowza. Okay, we made it to the North Rim. It was much easier than I thought it was going to be. And probably because I was walking and talking with these people the whole time. And I've been so used to walking by myself, so I don't know. But it's gone very quick. I don't even know what time is it? Before 11? 10:30? So we're going to find water and take a break. And then got to get out of this park. I think we got another 12 miles or so. You can keep talking.
And then road walk was
Okay, away from the canyon. We did a little side trip to go get water at the ranger station. So I drank about 1 liter and carrying 4 because there's no water for another 17 miles. I think we're going to have views of the Grand Canyon again at a lookout tower. And we got about 12 miles to get out of the park. So we got to do at least that before we can camp again. And so far, it's just been a very nice, leisurely morning. That climb out of the canyon was way easier than I thought it was going to be, and it was beautiful. And it feels good to be back in the big pine forest again. It's been real cloudy all morning. And, you know, one thing, yesterday we were down to I think it was 2,400 feet of elevation when we crossed the Colorado River. And today we're going to hit the highest point on the Arizona Trail, which is 9,136, I think. So we've climbed about 7,000 feet in 24 hours when we get there. About 9.5 miles from it so far. I feel like I'm in a Christmas tree forest now. There's lots of smaller trees that look like Christmas trees. Much thicker, denser forest. All right, now that we've been away from the canyon, I've just been working on making miles and walking. We've still been climbing. The canyon's the north rim is I think 8,200 feet or something like that. The high point of the trail is 9,100. So I just hit 9,000 and I can definitely feel at 9,000, I feel a little more winded on the climbs and a little more tired. But all is going well, making pretty good time. I hiked with Catherine and Paul, or old school maybe, I don't know, for maybe 2 miles after the North Rim. And then I got ahead of them and I haven't seen them since, and I've been going at a pretty good pace. So I may not see anybody else the rest of this hike, because of the 6 of us that were camped at Cottonwood last night, 3 were only going to the North Rim today. These 2 aren't going as far as I am today. So, and they're planning to finish a day or maybe even 2 days after I am. So I probably won't see them again, actually. Which is unfortunate because I didn't tell them bye. We just happened to get apart and I kept going. So, yeah, I don't know. Unless I catch some people that were a day ahead or something. But that's fine, because man, I got so used to camping alone and being alone. The Grand Canyon was a lot. There's a lot of people, and but it was fun. I don't know. This is just feeling. I don't know what it feels. I feel very good about getting close to the end. I'm ready to be done. But at the same time, this trail only being 800, I feel like we're just getting started. Like, with this many miles in on the PCT, you're like just getting to Kennedy Meadows, which, you know, less than a third of the trail. But anyway, this has been an amazing trail so far. One thing I was thinking about the other day, you know, in the AT, you summit Katahdin, and Katahdin is like the big finale. And then you got to go down, which is like 5 miles of not easy down a big mountain. But, you know, it's 5 miles down. It goes by pretty quick. The PCT, you touch the border. Then you got to go 30 miles back to Hart's Pass. And this trail, well, the border is the end. I don't know. It really kind of feels like the Grand Canyon was the grand finale. And it pretty much feels like it's over. But you still got to walk 80 more miles. It's like every trail I do, you've got to do more and more after the grand finale. But anyway, it's enough rambling for now. Okay, I guess I'm at the North Rim entrance station. You can tell it's all like boarded up and bear-proof still. I don't think anything's really open up here yet. There is a privy over there. A couple picnic tables around. We still have 2.1 miles before we get out of the park boundary, which makes us able to camp again. But yeah, it's kind of interesting to see that all boarded up there. There is such a nice bench and footstool here. I need a snack break, so this is gonna be it. I walked around, I was looking for a power outlet outside because I filmed way too much in the Grand Canyon, and it'd be helpful to top off my power bank and phone a little bit. But for now, I'm gonna take a break, have a snack, sit here with my shoes off for a bit, and then get going again. I am really getting down with this leisure life, let me tell you. I sat there with my feet on the bench. I ate some snacks, drank some water, and then I got cold. It's pretty overcast and cloudy, and I don't know, it's maybe 50 degrees. It's not like frigid, but it's pretty cool. So I put on my new cotton favorite hiking layer, my fancy sweatshirt. It looks like we only have like 1 point something to this tower and to the high point. Figured maybe a little cooler if it's any breezier up there too. Here, like you can look behind me. Look, the whole back of the cabin is covered in snow. So I'll just walk slow so I don't get too sweaty, because then it'll be downhill after that, and I'll be happy to have this extra layer on. So let's get up to this high point of the AZT and see our last big view of the Grand Canyon from the tower, and then finish this day. Okay, so I got to a trail junction. Right here, the trail goes that way, and it said I was at the tower. I look everywhere, I don't see it. But that sign says it's only 0.1, and I would like to see the Grand Canyon one more time from a tall vista. I don't see it though, and the woods are pretty open, so I'm not sure it's not more than 0.1, but we're gonna go find out. Here it is. Let's go up there. This is hard work for nothing. At 9,100 feet of elevation, this is a lot of stairs to climb. You can't get all the way to the top, that's locked, but you really can't even see the Grand Canyon. You can barely see the hint of one wall way back there. I'll show you in a second. Man, I also passed up the high point, just not 0.2 or 0.3 back, and it was 9,139 feet. So I'm actually higher than that now, but let me show you the canyon here and let's get going. Okay, that's all I can see, and that's about what it looks like with the naked eye. I can zoom in, and you can just kind of barely see a little bit right there. I mean, it's pretty up here, but I didn't get my last big Grand Canyon view that I was expecting. It's kind of cold up here. I'm gonna climb down, get back to trail, and get to going north. We only got to do a little bit more. It's less than a mile, I think, to get out of the park now, and then I'd like to get 20 in today, even with the climb out of the canyon. So I got a few more miles to do. I don't know how many. I'll let you know when I look at it and figure it out. This is kind of rickety. You hear that? I better get down. All right, before I go away, here's the tower from the ground. There's quite a few sets of stairs. There's like an old privy back there, an outhouse. And obviously this thing has seen better days. It's pretty dilapidated. But it's a big open flat area. I mean, if we weren't still in the park and it being illegal, this would be a pretty nice place to camp and maybe catch a sunrise or sunset on a clear day up in that tower. Okay, I just came from there. So we are now leaving Grand Canyon National Park. Now I can camp anywhere I want. I still got a little bit to go. It's only 4:30. I think I've said this a few times, and you can just tell, I think, from my excitement, but the Grand Canyon was epic. It was absolutely incredible to do the rim to rim, walk all the way through the thing. It was mind-blowing. Now that I've finished it, I don't think it's nearly as high on my list as the High Sierra or Mount Whitney. Mount Whitney is my number one thing ever done and spot I've ever been, for sure. But after Mount Whitney and the High Sierra, the Grand Canyon is probably the second most awesome place I've ever been or walked through. I'm sad that it's done, and I don't know. I don't feel desperate for this to be over. Like, I was really ready at the end for the PCT. And those last few days, I was really kind of blissful there too, I think. But I was very much wanting to be done. And I don't know, this feels light and comfortable and blissful. And I'm just happy with how things have gone and are going. On the AT and the PCT, I was home the day after I finished in both situations. Like, it was a whirlwind of getting rides out somewhere, hitching, getting flights, and home the next day in both situations. Not planning to do that for this hike. I have an idea of how I want to get back, but it's all going to depend on just how some things go when I'm trying to hitch and what city I can get to. But I plan to have an extra day somewhere, and I plan to get home not on a plane. I'll share the rest of that plan later. I have a feeling it's going to be a cold night because I'm not going to descend very much at all this evening. So it'll be around 9,000 feet, and it's 20 after 5. And my fingers are already cold, and I'm getting chilly. It's now 5:30. So generally at 5:30, as long as I have the miles I wanted to get that day, I start kind of looking for a tent spot. And to stop at 5:30, it's got to be a really good tent spot. And then if I don't find a really good tent spot, at 6, I get less picky. That's kind of how I do this. But today, this last hour or so, has been steep sides. There's been plenty of flat spots like in the bottoms of these trees, but most are wet or muddy. So I'm hoping that changes soon. Been walking through a lot more snow, just little pieces here and there, patches, but snow nonetheless. Just tells me how cold it's gonna be. I mean, some of this is still several feet deep. I mean, that there's probably 4 feet deep. All right, just came up a little climb, got out of that bottom where the cold air was collecting and it was muddy. Right here on top of this little peak, see a perfect spot. I'm sure it's been used before. This kind of lined with logs, and pretty dry and flat. So here's the question. It's like 5:40. I've done 21 and a half, including that big climb out of the canyon. Do you think I'm stopping or do you think I'm going? Okay, I walked up a couple hundred yards, probably further than I should have, like 300 or 400 yards, just to see how things looked, and quickly convinced myself this is probably the best spot I'm gonna find. It's a pretty dang good looking spot. A lot of thick pine trees. There was more breeze that way too, and there's almost none here. So I'm gonna get set up, and this is home for the night. All right, it's 6:05. I'm set up mostly, but I got the tent completely closed. You can see it's bright and sunny that way. This way looks like storm clouds, and it's actually like a mixture of like snow, ice, rain, just real light. So hopefully that goes away quick. Okay, it's starting to get chilly, but it's not horrible. It's way better up here than it was down in that holler back there. I did just over 21 and a half trail miles today, and that leaves a 63.2, I think it was, left in this trail. So I'm set up here. I'm gonna have chicken teriyaki with rice for dinner. This is still what I had left from my 20% off at Babbitt's Backcountry. It's the last one I have though. So I'm gonna eat and then settle into this quilt, probably to stay warm. And then we'll see how far we can get tomorrow. So today's Thursday, I think. Today's Thursday. And I think I'll finish Sunday before noon. We'll just have to see how that, maybe afternoon, I don't know. I'll finish sometime Sunday. And so just a few days left. So on that note, have a good night, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the Grand Canyon as much as I did. Come back tomorrow and we'll see what we can find.